Welcome to our YouTube page. This is the Jennifer and Chimex family page.
Hi guys, how you all doing? Trust you're all doing good. Yeah, thank you all for subscribing and liking our page. We appreciate that, and I believe we're all going to grow this channel and this page together. Nice to have you again. So today, we're just going to be introducing ourselves and talking more about ourselves in you know in very brief, and just to let you know us and how we got to where we got to and how we are here. So would you like to start first?
Okay, ladies first. All right, my name is Jennifer Chinoye Paul. I was born in Lagos State and I grew up in Lagos State. I did all my primary school in Lagos State. My dad was an Air Force personnel, so he usually moved from state to state, but we stayed in Lagos for a while. And then while I was 10 years old, we moved to Abuja. That was our next location. So I completed my secondary school in Abuja, and I also finished from the University of Abuja, and I studied microbiology. I have 3 siblings. I'm the only girl. I'm the second child, and I have 3 brothers. Yeah. So
Okay,
that's the summary of what you need to know about me.
that's a good one. Marrying the only daughter in the family, that's a very big one. So, well, like you all know, I'm Chimex. Chimex, the shortcut of Chimezie. Chimezie Peter Paul. Back in school days, they used to call me P Square. Some called me Uncle P, and then some also called me Lord Chimex, right? So, yeah, I was born in Kefi. I was born, bred, fed, everything was in Kefi. I schooled in Kefi. I started off in Government College Kefi, finished up in the East at St. Augustine's Grammar School in Kwere, and came back to Kefi, and did my university in Kefi, graduated in Kefi, BSc Microbiology again. Yeah, so finished off in Kefi, served also in Kefi, and everything was in Kefi. I'm the first son. I have 2 younger brothers, 2 elder sisters, and 2 younger sisters.
So you do the math.
Can do the math.
How many siblings does he have?
Yeah, I have everything double. Yeah, so that's where we at. And how did we meet?
Okay, back to how we met. Okay,
Yeah.
so after my service, after my university, I graduated in 2011 and I served in 2012. So I wanted to serve in Abuja, and my dad was so good in pulling plugs when it comes to service. Like I knew so many people here pulled the plug for that wanted to serve in Abuja, and they ended up serving in Abuja. So when it got to my turn, I also wanted to serve in Abuja because I had these high places I wanted to do my PPA. If you get what I mean, I wanted to do my PPA at an NPC. That was my dream. So my dad pulled every plug and every string he needed to pull, and guess what? It landed me in Nasarawa Kefi. So I served in Nasarawa 2012, 2013, and that was where I met my lovely husband.
Yeah.
All right, I'll leave you to take the
All right, so, of course, we met during our service. Yeah, like I said, I served in Kefi. I pulled all the plugs I know I had to pull, and my own plug off to serve in Kefi because I didn't want to leave anymore. I was actually serving late because I had delays in school. So, yeah, served in Kefi. And it was in 2012. And what happened was 2012, my service year was a very unique year, I would say, because it was a time I was at the peak of all the hallmark of all the things I intend to do, especially in life. Do I have direction at that particular time? Not really, so to say. We'll all get to that, right? It seems I'm running too fast anyway.
Running too fast. Slow down.
So, so yeah, service year. I was attending Living Faith Church with my friend, and they had a Tuesday evening. They had is it a Thursday or Tuesday evening?
It was a Thursday.
I think a Thursday evening. So they had a program. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. If you remember the last time we said let's talk about it, right? Yeah. So it was in that gathering, let's talk about it in 2012, right? Yeah, 2012. Was it 2012 or 2013?
2013.
Or was it 2013? Let's talk
Mm.
about it. Yeah, in Living Faith Church, hosted by Pastor David Ojesi Koba.
Yeah, in June 2013.
Yeah, we should remember the date. So we attended the evening with my friend, and we're seated at the back, and it was during question. It was a youth program. It was a time for question and answer, and then I just saw someone wrote a question, and because of the service, I noticed someone with a very unique skirt with some damn hot legs. Oh dear Lord! And everything that was going on in that service was, man, me focusing on the hot legs. Remember, I said it was the hallmark of the things I was doing back then. So yeah, I was like, okay, who's this person? And then she stretched forth her hand to ask her to drop a question, and I stretched forth and collected the question. Just trying to establish contact, as a guy now, just to create the first impression. And I couldn't. I didn't succeed in this service. And I was wondering, how am I going to speak to this person? Who is she? I've not seen her before. Kefi is a very small town. We virtually know ourselves, especially when you're new. We know, stuff like that. My Kefi people understand what I'm saying. So I've not seen her before, not met her before. And as the service ended, we were leaving the church, and then suddenly I just had the guy called her name, Jennifer. I said, okay, that's cool. And I was like, I waited a little. I wanted to talk to her.
Shame.
My liver caught. There was no morale at that time. She just walked past me. Couldn't say anything. So we got into the car with my friend and we were driving off. And then suddenly I saw her with her friend by the roadside. And I was like, Jennifer, are you guys going our way? And she was like, yes, they're going. Which way, And they hopped into the car, and then we got conversing. I just said, oh, you guys are serving, you're coppers, you're serving in this place. And they were like, oh, how did you know? I didn't know. But I just said, based on the experience of, coppers serving in a particular location. And then we got talking and, got to the point where we dropped them off because we're also living in that area. So it happened that we are actually going the same way.
Direction.
What a coincidence, if you would say. So, divine plan, I would say. You can call it coincidence, And that point, we got to a point where they are going to highlight, and one mad thing, I say mad or foolish thing I did was, I was the one who gave her my number, not me collecting hers. I was like, where is your phone? I collected her phone and punched my number, And when she dropped and I was leaving, I was like, what in the world is wrong with me? Because felt I was feeling myself. But I was broken. I was like, what in the world did I do? Why did I not collect this person's number? Hey, Father Lord, forgive me. I repent. That was what I was saying. I was telling my friend. And then suddenly she called. I was like, oh, thank goodness. She called immediately. We exchanged our BBM then.
BBM.
We exchanged our BBM pin and then we started talking. The next day we met. Straight up, all the liver that was cutting, I summoned the courage, took her out. And I was very honest with her on that first date. I was like, if you remember the first date, right?
Eminem went to eat
popcorn and ice cream. So I was like, hey babes, look, very straightforward. You have a lot of things going on right now. If you give me time and patient with me, we're going to, put them all aside. And mind you, I was serving in my town in Kefi. I was very popular in our service here. They know me. In my, what's it called? CDS group.
He was director or
No, most popular.
Most popular.
In my CDS group. So I had friends, guys, everything, like a lot. I come to CDS, being in town, and then you had the not CLO, the what's it called? All those their supervisors, all those supervisors that they call, I was doing business with them already, so I know them. Sometimes I wear sandals. You're not supposed to wear a sandal to, CDS. Stuff like that. So I was very popular, and my stories are there. They know. So I was very straight and honest with her. Be honest, guys. If you know what you're going for, guys, So I was very truthful to her and I was like, hey, babes, I'm interested in you. I want to date you. I want to, go out with you. If you give me time, all these other ones, will round out. And one of the things, like I said, in my service year was I was actually committed. I said to myself before the service year, like, I want to have a decent relationship in the service year. And funny enough, it wasn't coming forth. This was happening like towards the end of my service year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember. It was like 2-3 months to
2 months
to
after.
the end of my service year. That was when I met her. And interestingly, it was a prayer I prayed beginning of the service year. I was committed to it. I want to stay true to it, but it didn't happen. At some point I gave up because I said everything was happening. I said no, since this thing is not forthcoming, let's not misuse or waste all the service year. And it was at the point of not wasting the service year, doing all sort of things, messing around, that I met her. And yeah, maybe you take it up from there and continue.
All right, before we continue, do well to like, subscribe. Please remember to share and follow us. Okay, so when he gave me his number, when I got back to my room, because I and my friend Judith, we stayed. See, we were just so favored during our NYSC time here that when we got into Kefi, we did not have to rent house. Just there was this woman in church that just she's a widow and she just wanted to help coppers. So she said, "Oh, I have rooms." She has her own house. She had rooms in her house, so I can accommodate 2 coppers. Give me 2 coppers, and just like that, she chose I and this my friend. So when we got to the room, she was like, I was like, I didn't really want to at first, but she was like, there was no harm. Like we just got talking, and she was like, just call this guy, and that was how I reached out. We started talking. So thank you, Judith, if you're watching. All right. So after that, we got talking, and I really picked interest in him as a person. In fact, that was what got me really interested in him. One was the fact that he was really honest. He wasn't like, to me, he wasn't like hiding or covering up the kind of person he is. And during the period when I said yes, when we started dating, it was more like like I don't even know how to put this story, but like he said, everyone knew him. There are times when people will see me with him and be like, now this guy you dey date. Some people made some kind of comments. This one is there's this comment people, oh, this one na Arabanko, you're a quiet girl. You don't need, like, I saw people that knew him, even people in church, like elders in church that probably might have maybe known him one way or like, no, 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 you're a quiet girl, this one, that one. Well, why that was going on, I had already picked interest in him, or let me say I had already fallen for him. And then, but one thing I did and one prayer I made as a girl growing up was, as a teenager, because I gave my life to Christ at the age of 17. Let me say, I when I was 14, yeah, actually gave my life to Christ. Then, but
And
I
give him
knew,
again.
I gave him again at the age of 17. I was in university, and then I knew some things. So yeah, but along the line, it's not like it's not like, we'll get to that part, but let me just continue where I stopped. So I kept praying. I prayed a prayer. I said, God, one thing I needed is a man that would love you. That's just my prayer. If you ask me then, what do you want in a man? I will just say a man that loves God. Why? Because if he loves God, he will definitely love me. And that's all I needed. And then at that point, Was I in a relationship? I was actually in a relationship when
Mm-hmm.
I met him. I was in a relationship with another. He was a brother, like pure church brother, a good guy, and but the thing was that he was Catholic, and we didn't have the same orientation when it came to the Bible and all of that. So, and my mind, even though he was a Christian and he was good, there was this. I wasn't at peace with him.
She met a bad boy.
And then I met the bad boy and was now at peace with the bad boy. When I say
Dear
bad, my
Lord.
husband was actually at that peak of, you know, he used to be an alcohol, like he could take how many, but I used to think my dad took drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think my dad used to take alcohol then. I used to think my dad was really drinks. But when I met him, I knew okay,
Mm-hmm.
and power past power. But then I put him in prayer. One thing I always did at that point in time was I always prayed for him.
She was reporting me to God, so let me take that from her. So, at the cost of our relationship and, while we're dating, she was still actively serving, and I was about rounding up my service year, and I was still in curfew, now. So it was still a moment we're still together. After I finished serving, passed out, she was still there, and you know, the relationship was on going well. Everybody started knowing her that, oh, she's with me, that this is my babe. Like I said, we go out to bars and all that. So this was what was happening. I was taking her to my own side. She was also taking me to her own side. At the course of the relationship, she invited me to one night with the king. And I was like, yeah, I was going to go. And my guys were like, oh, really? This is getting serious. You want to go to one night with the king? Oh, who is that girl? Stuff like that. Yeah, but if I invite her over too to hang out with me, she do come, but she wouldn't take anything. I was trying to force her, but she would not. So that's one of those key things. She didn't give up on me, like after hearing all that she heard. And I was still messing around or misbehaving, so to say. And then one day, she made a statement. She was like, what it is that you're looking for that you don't have, like you don't get. And I was like, what's that? Get go, she knows my phone password. She has access to it. I was not hiding anything, right? So I don't know how to hide. I don't even know how to pretend, so to say.
Yeah, he was that
So
transparent. Like,
if you see me, you have seen me. So I was like, oh, what is it? And she said, well, at some point she just told me that. No, I was the one that was telling herself. Yeah, I remember. I was telling her about something that happened. I was going to go look for somebody else. And at the point of going there, I just lose the interest. Like, what the heck? What am I doing? I have this person that is fully committed and available to me. What is wrong with me? Like, it was more of sense entered me. Yeah, so to say. Sense entered me. I was like, I have this person who is nice, who is caring, who is even praying for me. What is wrong with me, right? And I had to stop and then pay attention. And when she came out of the she said she was the one that did the prayer. She reported me to God. That she prayed the prayer and said, God, whatever it is that is taking this man's attention, that is distracting him from me, cut it off. And it worked. And that was when I started paying attention to her. I was like, if God could answer such a prayer, what else is happening? You know? Things like that. All those little,
and
little things.
sorry,
So that brought me in. And I'll start listening to her.
and one thing I always did was there was a time I was praying. Most times when I pray, I I talk to the Holy Spirit like as though He was there. So there was one time I got like he got to me. I was like, no, why am I doing this? Like, why is it he came to me and he's not looking like, oh, guy, I'm here. He's always there, if you understand what I mean. But there were a lot of distractions. So I was praying this prayer. I was like, no, I'm not. Let me just end it. Like, And it was as if the voice was so clear. You know, when the voice was so clear
Mm.
that no, you're not ending this. Do you understand? And then it was just like a prompting. And then I just kept, sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll just start praying in tongues just for, so it was, I would say that was the first time I was doing that for anybody, any person. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I just knew that I had this notion that this particular guy, there's something special in him. This particular one, I need to, like, I just need to stand in the gap. I really didn't understand what was happening. That, you know, when people will come to you, like I said, and say, no, this one, no. But I still felt, I didn't think it twice. I still felt this, no, this guy is, there's this, you guys are just seeing the, you're
Mm.
just seeing the
Sure,
surface,
seeing
but
deep.
there's this deep down part of him that you're not seeing, that I'm seeing.
Yeah, so that actually got me too. And then it got to the point where, one day, almost when she was about rounding up her service year as well, and then she came, we're talking in the room, and she was outlining that that she just had a discussion with the Holy Spirit. I said, yeah. She outlined and said Shiloh was coming in 2013, and then she was like, and I was going to Kachia, Kaduna State, to start a job there. Because after service here, where I served, I was planning to, get my extension there, but that did not work out. So, in order not to just be a burden at home and be, roaming about town, I got an offer to go to Kachia. Then we talked about it. She also was also rounding up. And then she came and was like, okay, in this Shiloh, that God already has a plan for you, start outlining that God has a purpose for me, that He has called me into the ministry. I say, from where now? But because of that first incident that happened, that she said, how I lose that interest, I didn't know. But I was honestly going for something else, and all of a sudden, I just turned back, you know, turned back. I had bike guys back then, self. I had to turn back and just go back home and then call her. I had that discussion. So because of that, I was trying to connect the dot. Okay, I'll be willing to hear. And remember, I've started also going to church, attending programs because of her. So that was it. That was just the hallmark of it. And here we are. The Shiloh came, and my prayers for Shiloh back in Kachia, I remembered. I still remember very well. That was December 13, right? That's December 12 or 13. No, December 9, thereabout. The last day of Shiloh, Bishop Abioye was the one preaching, and then she talked about rededicating your life and giving your life to Christ. And another thing that happened when I got to Kachia was, Kachia is a town where I was working. I was working with Olam Nigerian Limited at that particular time. Was It was just something else altogether, right? It took, so they were seeing us as the workers, and the villagers and the people there were, you know, they were humbling. You just see things happening, and I'll be like, oh, 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 oh. I'm coming from Kefi, and I was trying to, maintain myself, and then here it looks like, Father, Ogao, not in this town, so, and then that was just it. The Shiloh came, I was going to struggle to stay faithful and committed to her, right? For me, for her, I have never had any iota of doubt. If there's anything that is going to be happening, I didn't feel that. I know she was going to stay put. However, before we even left, I started work, her service here. I was like, oh, we've had a decent relationship. Even if we call it a quits now, there isn't any problem. It's all gain for us, right? Yeah, that I've loved you, I have trusted you, we had a good time and all that. And everybody was crying. She was like, no, I don't think that will be the end. I was like, in my mind, whatever it is, because honestly, as at the time, with the experience and the things I've seen, as a guy those days, I didn't believe in distant relationships. So that was why I was, saying I was going to put an end to what we had and what we shared. And then she was like, well, whatever it is, we'll keep in touch. I said, yeah, fine, we'll keep in touch. But however, it didn't end. It was when we became stronger. Because when we parted ways, we realized that we needed each other much more than we can ever imagine, right? So that Shiloh came. Bishop Abioye was preaching that morning, and he was like, oh, everything he said, I was not hearing, but I heard the last part. He said, you're in love and you're trying to, you're thinking of how to stay faithful with this particular person. He said, there's no how you love that person without the love of God. Those were the lines. I have it in my notes. He said, there is no how you can love the person without the love of God. I said, really? He said, yes. Straight up, an altar call was made. I was in the front. That was it. That was the point. I mean, everything changed. Everything turned around. I started reading books. I got committed. Loving her became very easy and very fun. We started reading books together. Our conversation changed. That was okay. As she finished service, as God will have it, an offer came for FCMB Bank.
Yeah, in Kefi.
In Kefi. Through my friend. Sent her the link, she applied. Boom. They gave her the job, you see. She back to Kefi again. God was working wonders, pulling all the strings, So that's the bulk of the story about us. Like, she came back to Kefi, serving in Kefi. I was working in Kachia. I was working 1 week on, the other week I'm back. We spent the weekend together, praying, planning, talking about it. We're not talking about marriage. We're just continuing our relationship, so to say, And along the line, it was just it. At some point in time, I think that was when was that? Is it 2014? Right?
Yeah, that will happen.
You tell me.
You proposed.
After 1 year.
After 1 year, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe after 1 year plus, and then 2014 in February. Was it February?
February 14th.
Yeah.
2014.
And then proposed. In February 2015, I remember 8th of February, we visited their home. I wish the pictures are there, so if you might get to share it. We'll just highlight some of all those things, for us to see. So that was it. 2014, after studying, came back to Kefi, did all the wolf bees, got engulfed, and I was now serving as a protocol team member. Sometimes I'll stand in the front of the altar serving those years. And then people will be like, who's this guy? This guy. This guy. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord. Salvation is sweet, And some people that get to know me, they see the things we used to do before, becoming surprised. But God helped me, God really helped me. He came through for me. I'm still in touch with my friends. Not that I became a child of God and then you abandon your friends and, call them sinners or whatever. No. That was not it. So the lessons I believe I learned from her was she never gave up on me. She prayed me in, my brothers and everybody. And when we were talking about marriage, when we started about marriage, one of the unique things that happened was when she was working in FCMB. You want to continue?
No, I said, do you want to give them all the story at once?
Oh, yeah, we're talking about how we got here and all that. I believe we should just keep sharing. And,
keep sharing.
And,
continue.
I will get to the point where we're at.
Continue, sorry.
So, 2014, proposed 2015. I felt I was already ready, had not much money. We're already building and then talking about our future, planning and all that. She was working as well, putting one or two things together. But in 2014, right? December. Was it December of 2014, right? We visited your home, right?
Yeah.
We visited. We just took a bold step. Me and my younger brother drove to their house. Remember, her dad was an Air Force officer, and then he welcomed us, was asking us what we came to do. I was like, no, I'm bold enough to say, yeah, your daughter is my friend. And we decided to come know her parents because she also knows my own family. She had met everybody in my home, so I felt it's wise. He was like, yeah, that's a wise move. What do you do? Told him where you working and all that. My brother too and all that. So he said the drink we brought was it? I said no, it's Christmas drink. It's for Christmas. It's not for anything. So he welcomed us. We had a good time, ate, and left. So that was it. And then after a while, I remember it was later. She was telling me that the dad told her that thou shalt not bring any man to my house.
I don't want to see any
That
of
is not
I
going
don't
to
want
be
to
your
see
husband.
I want to see a husband, not friend. He had this. That's why he actually took a bold step. He knew my dad was not really. He was really strict when it came to me as a person.
Thou shalt not come to my house.
He was the first man, the first guy I was introducing to him. And he was like, okay, when they left, he said, he came as a friend. I don't want to see any friend. And I actually understand the side he was coming from because he had lots of sisters. And some of his sisters stayed with us, and most of them followed the same scenario, brought friends, and at the end of the day nothing happened. And then so he was like, no, I don't want that for you. I don't want to see any friend. What I want to see is husband. And here we are today.
Yeah,
we got married in 2015. Now when we say we got married, I think that would be a story for another day. How we got married, the marriage and all of that. Yeah, because yes, we got married, but it was not like smooth. Yeah, it was smooth, but we crossed a lot of hurdles.
Well, let me tell you the hurdles she's talking about. Let's not wait for the next episode, right? So, because my mom knew her, right, from when we were dating back then, that I was when my head was not correct, I was so silly. So my mom knew her, and then she came one Sunday evening. My mom was like, someone dropped her off. She was coming to my place, and then somebody dropped her off, and my mom saw her and be like, who is that, babe? Somebody dropped your girlfriend.
It was a friend, a copper guy, a friend.
I was like, Mom,
so he was going that way, and then we joined in, and then he dropped me. Then she saw.
So, but she's the love of my mom right now, like they are best of friends.
No, I can't stray that for anything.
I tell you, it was. But you see, that's how we said at that point when we're cutting and we know that this is where we're going to. We actually prayed about it. I know we prayed everybody in.
Yeah.
How my mom got connected, even me, I can't explain. I didn't even say anything. Before I could even say that, Mom, this is the person I'm going to marry, everybody in my home has already agreed that she's the person. To the point that my dad was the one who even initiated and said it. Because at that point, he was like, if I had money. He was telling his friend, he said, man, if I have money, I'll go and marry this girl for my son. I said, really? Is that so? Oh yeah, now let's go. He said, really? Are you ready? I said, yes, I'm ready. He said, I was actually waiting for, it was just that move. And boom, went to their house in Abuja on the 8th of February, did everything. That's how we left everything for both parents. And then if you see her dad and my dad, they look alike. They think they're brothers. I'm telling you. So they got connected. We met on that time. The introduction, my uncle, my brothers, and then her too. Oh, you need to see that meeting. I wish we covered that gathering that year. It was lovely. They had good time. Everybody discussed. From there, they exchanged contacts. By April, they're already back home in the village doing all the traditional rites. Both of us were in the various places where we were working. We had to take 3 days off. That was Easter period. Just went back home. did our traditionals, cleared everything. Boom. By September, we got back and tidy up everything in the church as well. So every of those steps, God was just in it, making ways for us, ensuring that everything worked together. Despite challenges and hurdles that we crossed, like she said, there were things that happened at those times that, it made us stay stronger, kept us together, like it bind us together. Like I can't do anything without her.
Thank you for watching. One thing I learned from all of this is that prayer does work. There are times when we get to have more like a rift argument, and then when I just ponder, I just remember all of the stories. I remember everything that happened, how we prayed ourselves in, and
We
just
prayed, oh,
I prayed every
we
Thursday.
prayed,
We were fasting and we were praying,
we
and
prayed.
it just helps us. It just gives us this, even when we're facing
There were
trials.
times we had all night on the altar.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll go to church alone, and then we'll just pray all through the night. So whenever we're facing trials, I just remember prayer works.
It does work. So guys, see you on the next one.